Welcome to episode 3 of the Locker Box podcast, brought to you by our partnering sponsor, benchconnect.net. It is Wednesday evening, 8:44, after the quarterfinal bonanza we had in the Olympics today. Michaels, take us away. Start us off with an ad read here.
I'll be quick here, fellas. Listen up. If you want ice time, contracts, or roster spots, you've got to be in the right room. Bench Connect is where hockey people connect. Players show up, coaches post spots, agents make moves. No nonsense, no runaround. Go to benchconnect.net and get in the mix. Bench Connect is live, it's active. Get in there or you're missing out. I am so excited to be recording this episode. We could call it an emergency episode. People were asking, we were wondering, when are we going to film episode 3? We said, are we going to have enough content right after these quarterfinal games? And boy, do we ever have enough content, Whites. Let's get right into it. We might have too much
Before we get into it,
slow down, Mike. Slow down, he says. Go ahead.
I just want to commend you on your ad read. Okay?
Appreciate that.
It's turning out to be pretty routine at this point.
Yep,
routine.
It's routine.
You know what else is routine?
Let's hear it.
Team Canada getting a heart attack when we play Czechia, Czech Republic.
The Czechs might have our number. The Czechs have our number. It scares me. They scare me. And I think, you know what? They might have done that on purpose to us. I think they did the first game on purpose. They let us fly by them. We're like, oh, this is going to be another walk in the park. It wasn't a walk in the park. It was not a walk in the park. Whites, what was it? What's the opposite of a walk in a park? A stroll in the stream? I don't know. You tell me, Whites.
A run, a marathon? That's not easy. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, marathon, that was probably better than a stroll in the stream. But let's go through the quick recap here, Whites. Recap all the listeners. I'm just so excited.
Woke up early for 6:10 a.m. I was actually up for it. Wanted to see my boy Slafkovský, our second nation in these Olympics. But 6-2, pretty convincing win for Team Slovakia over Germany. Game 2, we'll get into it. Canada versus Czechia, 4-3 win for Canada in overtime. And the overtime festivities continued. We had Finland versus Switzerland, another 3-2 overtime thriller. And then the final one, the nightcap over in Milan. USA defeating Sweden to 2-1 in overtime as well. Some late comebacks, some late game heroics. In the US game, Sweden tied it up with a minute 31. Mika Zibanejad tied that one up, heading back to Finland.
Yabinayad. Have you listened to everybody listening to the names? People love the way people say their names. You know, they say it twice. I'm on TikTok, you know me. Before we go, are we going to mention my viral moment? We could get into that later. Is it in the outline? Because I'll put it right now.
It's not.
I'm going to put that in. Should we just get it over with?
Get it over with.
All right. I'm going to get it over with right now, but we are famous now. At the Locker Box podcast, we're going to start offering free signatures to the first 100 people that give us a 5-star review. But if people don't know what I'm talking about, I had a hot take on last podcast where I said Sidney Crosby is going to be more impactful in the game versus the U.S. That's just assuming that they're going to play the U.S.
Tom Wilson.
Tom Wilson. Who did I say?
Sidney Crosby.
I reverse it. I said Tom Wilson's going to be more impactful than Sidney Crosby in the game versus the U.S. That's assuming they're going to play. Obviously, it's not guaranteed. Some people agree with me, and a lot of people didn't. I'd say, Whites, what did you say, 50-50, 60-40? I don't know what it was, but people had strong opinions, one side or another. People call me idiots, but you know what it did? It got the clicks. I think we're up to 17,000 views on TikTok. So follow us on TikTok. Look at our clips. We're gonna give you what you want, but shout out snaps to me for going viral. And we're a team here. We're a team. Snaps to the Locker Box podcast. Shout out to our social media girl. So shout out to me. Let's get back into the recap here. What a day it was. It just maybe tying it back into our old episode. We're saying, do we like it being in Milan? Yeah, I do. I like it. I was up to at 6:10, but man, it's hard. Your clients calling me. I'm trying to do my work here. Macklin Celebrini scored. Hey, I'll call you back. Give me a sec. I'm trying to watch the replay here. So it has its ups and downs, Whites. You tell me.
Yeah, I watched most of the game on my lunch break. But yeah, just a great monologue there. But I'm just finishing up here. Heiskanen tied the game with a minute 12, Lehkonen in overtime. And then obviously Suzuki tying it up with 3:32, I want to say, around there. Yep, show off the jersey for those who are watching on YouTube. And then a 4-3 victory. Mitch Marner getting the job done in overtime for Team Canada, keeping our keeping our hopes alive. That's the quick breakdown. Semifinal matchups are now set. Canada versus Finland, USA versus Slovakia. So going to be two great games. Two games that Team Canada all the way. And then USA, Slovakia. We got Juraj Slafkovský playing for Slovakia. So I'm not going to say who I'm cheering for, but that definitely plays a factor in that.
Is it a good time for a hot take? I want a hot take here. You're not going to agree with this, but I know I don't follow the episode roadmap to a T here. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm going to slip in a hot take here. I know you won't agree with this. I want the U.S. to beat Slovakia because I want to see a USA-Canada gold medal game. I know I want Slav.
It's to win.
Knock on wood, actually. Knock on wood, everybody at home. Canada does need to win. That's true. But man, I would love a little Canada-USA gold medal game. But yeah, Whites, let's get back on the road here.
Yeah, we're just gonna break down the games. Let's get going with the Slovakia-Germany game. A little Slafkovský. We're gonna make you wait for Canada. We're gonna make you wait for Suzuki, but a little Slafkovský breakdown. I watched this game this morning, so I was a little groggy, but what I do remember is quiet offensive game for Slafkovský. He started off really hot offensively. He was dictating play, carrying the puck. You might have seen before copyright got the best of everybody. That Slafkovský spinorama, Subban-like. I think that's what our social media was said. Subban-like spinorama.
Our social media girl did tweet that. Before it got copyrighted. Yep.
Before it got copyrighted. So he was playing well, but he played well defensively. He was responsible. He was up against the Draisaitl-Stützle line. So you know that's really all, or they were on separate lines. So he faced Draisaitl sometimes, Stützle sometimes they were duoed in. So he had to be responsible defensively. He knows that if those guys aren't going to beat them, the rest of Germany is not going to beat them. Because I think the bottom half of Slovakia is stronger than the bottom half of Germany. So as long as he matched up with their top guys, so he played some responsible hockey. Michaels, did you get a chance to watch any of that game?
So I watched, I'll be honest, I watched the first period. I woke up pretty early, watched the first period, then had to start getting ready, go to work. So I didn't catch the end of the game, but I will tell you what I thought before the game. I saw that the Germans were the underdogs by not too much, but they're definitely underdogs. And I was surprised by that. Obviously, I didn't realize how good Slovakia was because they were the only quarterfinal game that wasn't a one-goal game. So that surprised me. I was close to putting money on Germany. I said, you got Leon Draisaitl. As much as I don't like Tim Stützle, he's a great player. And JJ Peterka, Moritz Seider, they've got good players. They got Grubauer and net. I said, how are they underdogs here? I don't really get it. And you know what? I'll be honest, the Slovakians surprised me. They're deep, and I'm telling Team USA, if you're listening right now, it's not going to be a walk in the park or a marathon or a stream through or a walk or a swim through the stream. It's not going to be that. They're a good team. Maybe not every player is an NHL player, but they're depth players maybe that play in Europe. They're playing hard and they're playing well, and they look like a well-oiled machine out there.
Yeah, they really do look like a team that plays for each other, plays together. A lot of experience. Like they've been playing together. Like I remember watching the World Championships a few years ago. A lot of the similar names that I've recognized. One guy, I think he's a dark horse, not a dark horse, but a sleeper for Slovakia that I really like is Hudacek. Not sure what his first name is. He plays on the power play with Slafkovský on the opposite flank. I really like his game. He's an older guy. But this team just seems like they're playing for each other, playing for their country with a lot of pride. And they don't really care who wins. Slafkovský was quoted after the game. He didn't score a goal. He had an assist on the
They don't care who
net.
scores. They don't
who
care
scores.
Who
Yeah.
scores.
Yeah.
They care who wins. They don't care who scores, though.
They don't care who scores, but he did have an assist, so he's up to 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points in four games, I believe. But he was quoted saying, it doesn't matter who's going to score. We just need to score that one extra goal. So he knows that they just need to win. He doesn't care if he's going to score. He knows that he can be that guy to get them over the hump if they need a goal. But he's also going to be that guy who's going to not let Germany, not let USA get that last goal. So a lot of growth from him. And I really like that he's in the spotlight. I think it's good for his development. It's good for the player that he's going to become from Montreal. He was even asked before the game, kind of like, how does he handle being, the guy in Slovakia? He's like a national icon. I can't imagine many people, if anyone's more famous than him in the country of Slovakia right now.
No, he's probably the host of the time. He's probably the Gabrick at the time. Or obviously, we don't know. I don't know. Obviously, we know Hossa, we know Gabrick, but we don't. Obviously, since Slafkovsky's playing in Montreal, yeah, we don't know how big those guys were in Slovakia, but what we see online is that he's everywhere. He's all in the ads. He's all over. He's a massive deal in Slovakia. We're lucky to have him in Montreal. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah, and he was asked about kind of like how does he deal with the spotlight, the pressure of being the guy, because everyone in obviously Slovakia expects a lot from him. He's produced before in the last Olympics, so it's kind of like, all right, what can you do for us now? And he kind of compared it to playing in Montreal. He says playing in Montreal in the spotlight, I love it. I enjoy every game when there's a spotlight. I want to be the guy. So it really shows the maturity he has, how he like he says he wants to be that guy, right? So I mean, off to him for taking the initiative, taking responsibility, and really leading his team. And I mean, today he didn't have to, but you're not going to have to every game. Sometimes other guys are going to have their legs. And like I said, they were leading all games, so he knew that he didn't have to score that extra goal. He just needed to make sure that they didn't. But it's always nice to get a point on the empty net goal to Thomas Tatar. So I mean, another win for Slovakia. The Cinderella story continues. Any last takeaways from the game from Slafkovský, or should I just get right into Canada, Czechia?
Yeah, honestly, like I said, I only caught 10 minutes of it. I was mostly looking at the box score, so I don't want to be that box score watcher here and tell you Slafkovský didn't play well because I obviously didn't watch the full game here. But yeah, he obviously didn't get too many of the points. The only point he got, like you mentioned, was on that empty net goal. But at the end of the day, the team won, and that's all he cares about. And that's the player I want on my team. You know, I don't want them worried about points. So yeah, let's move on to the big game, Whites.
Okay, the big game. So there's a few takeaways I want to take from this game. Starting off with Binnington, Binner. Obviously, everybody knows how this game unfolded. Everyone knows who scored. Everyone knows who won. So I want to kind of focus on Binnington right now, just to start off. Maybe didn't make the most saves. Thought he was solid. But even in the tournament, we all know coming in, there's a lot of backlash on like, should he be the guy? Should he be playing? He's had a terrible NHL season. But even John Cooper said it. He's our guy because he comes up big when it matters most, Michaels. 2 saves that stand out for me with a minute left. Natchez on the breakaway saves that one, takes him into overtime. And then in overtime early on, I don't know who had the chance. It was on the first shift, but I mean, this guy had a point blank shot chance and Binnington was tested and
it seems like we weren't getting that third guy high. The third guy high, we weren't covering it. It seemed like we were kind of lackadaisical on the photo bomber, Whites. Not to give you nightmares here, but it seemed like we weren't grabbing the photo bomber behind. You know, we were all looking at the puck, and then the guy behind you it just has an open shot. But yeah, Binner, let's go back to Binner here. People were asking who's going to be the starter, who's this and that. And we've heard stories where John Cooper met with Binner like months before the Olympics and basically told him, like, it doesn't matter what's going on, you're our guy. And that tells you how much confidence John Cooper has in Binnington. I promise you that confidence is definitely, gets into Binnington, it definitely gets into his head, and you can see he plays like it. And yeah, people, even buddies of mine, people are saying, oh, you should play Logan Thompson, this and that. He's having a better year. I don't care. Binner makes the big saves. It's not about your save percentage. It's about when you make the saves. It's the timely saves that matter. And I think we heard TJ Oshie say it. I think he said it on a different podcast, but it's spinning chicklets. We could say it. I just wasn't sure for copyright reasons, but like, he makes the big saves, and that's the guy you want in the net. And you know what? I had this for a different segment, but I'm going to bring it up just because it ties into what we're saying. There, some guy on Twitter, this is what he tweets, and I quote, John Cooper won't, but I'd still start Logan Thompson in the semi. Some big stops late from Jordan Binnington there, but he has still also looked shaky on enough looks against Czechia and France over 2 straight games that I think he's a risk, and one you don't have to take. This is Scott Wheeler on Twitter, not to air you out here, Scott, but that is a brutal take. You want to take, and Logan Thompson's a good goalie, but you want to take a rookie, not a rookie goalie, but it's his first Olympics. He's a rookie to the Olympics. I guess Binnington's a rookie to the Olympics too, but he's not a rookie to big moments. Binnington has been in those big moments. I trust that guy in every situation. The guy won a Game 7 in Boston. That's one of the hardest things to do, away Game 7 in the Stanley Cup final. He's a Stanley Cup champion. You want those guys in the net. You want those guys on the ice when it matters most. I would not even think twice. If Binnington lost 2 fingers, I would still put him in the net.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I think you're also just doing a disservice to Thompson, putting him in cold like that. He hasn't played in a little while. Like you said, he's never played in such a big game. So I don't agree with that take. Obviously, it's not happening, so it's really a nothing burger. Like, we don't even need to discuss it. But
it is, but I had to because, like,
yeah.
I got shit on for making a stupid take. There's somebody goes, "Oh, this is why social media sucks because everyone can have their opinion." You know what? Shout out to that guy because that guy's right. This is why social media sucks because friggin' Scott Wheeler got to have an opinion on that, but I get to say Scott Wheeler's stupid opinion.
Okay. I guess one save he didn't make was on the third goal from Czechia. And on that goal, I've seen the highlights. I've seen the pictures. I didn't notice this in real time, but I guess
how would you? I guess you're not the only one who didn't.
Yeah, Team Canada didn't either, but they had
I
6
think
men
Mr.
on the ice.
Referees didn't either.
I mean, the referees didn't see it either. They had 6 men on the ice for the third goal. No wonder no one picked up the high guy because there was an extra guy on the ice. So we'll get into that back check. We'll get into that a little bit down the line here. Like, how do you miss that? Thank God Canada won because we know that'd be the topic of discussion all over the place.
And how could you blame it, right? If Canada loses because of that, and I'm sure people are going to say, "Oh, Canada, you're sore losers." I mean, if they lose because of it's not like, oh, it was a loose change. They had 6 guys fully in the zone. Fully in the zone. You've never seen that. Is that what you said? I've never seen that either. That is the most, I've never seen such an obvious too many men call and it not called. And they literally scored off of it. I've never seen that. And I've watched hockey my whole life. I've just never seen that. Obviously, it's probably happened. But man, that is just the most, I'm so happy that Team Canada won because I know that would have been a huge, huge discussion. It would have been a shit show. It would have been embarrassing for us. But then, honestly, I would have this might be a shitty take, but I would have rather just lose normally than lose off of that. Like
100%.
Right? It's like, what do you, so I don't know where I'm going with that, but I am just so baffled beyond that. Even like when I figured that out, like I think it was 30 minutes after the game, I'm just looking, I'm counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. And then there was other clips. They're showing that they had 8 guys on the ice, but that one was like, well, it was because the D were changing when they were up in the ice, but that happens. That's not too many men. But when they were defending in the zone, that you can't miss that. There's NHL refs reffing this. It just can't happen in such a big game, in such a big moment. But yeah, you mind if I say that?
Yeah, you sent that. Yeah, I was gonna say you sent a quote in the group chat earlier today, so I wanted you to be able to take that one away.
Yeah. So after the game, the Czech coach is quoted saying, "We were basically playing against 6 players," which is super ironic. Like, it just doesn't get as ironic as this. What a juxtaposition. I'm just saying buzzwords. I don't even know if that's the right thing there. No, you weren't. You were playing with 6 players. We were playing against 6 players. Like that, I'm saying we as if I'm on Team Canada.
You are.
But
We're a nation.
I am. We're a nation. And yeah, I just saw this quote and I wonder what he's thinking right now. Maybe not the best quote to say after we almost won for having 6 players on the ice. I haven't seen much comment. Did Team Canada have any comments on that? Did any players, coaches talk about that? Have you seen anything?
I don't know. All I know is they didn't I don't think they noticed it, or maybe I think one guy on Czech Republic said like, yeah, I noticed it. But I don't think the Canadians noticed it at all. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I feel like this coach might have gone back, but he might have said that before he even knew this, and then afterwards he's probably like, oh.
Had to be, right?
He's like,
no way he knew that, or he's just messing with us, or
Yeah.
he's fucking with us. I don't know what it was, but I saw this quote and I was dying.
Is it real? We know.
I mean, I got it from TSN,
It's real. Yeah.
right? Like it wasn't a fake TSN, it was a real TSN.
Yeah.
So you tell me what's.
Yeah. Can't trust anything nowadays with all this AI stuff. I mean, yeah, that is crazy. Thank God, obviously, that Canada was still able to pull it out even after having that against them. But I think another major topic that we need to talk about is the injury to Crosby. I don't necessarily like the play. Hopefully he's okay. It didn't look great. But if he's out, who do you think will be a voice in the locker room on the bench to step up? Who's a guy who's going to fill that void? You know, Crosby's obviously not the most vocal guy, but he is obviously the leader. So who's some guys you look to that you think will be able to pick up that slack?
I mean, you still have veterans on that team. You have Mark Stone. I think you consider McKinnon. He just leads by example on the ice. Like, you do have many veterans on there. Am I missing? Like,
Yeah, there's 2 guys I look to. I wanted to see who you thought. I completely agree. McKinnon, scary man. Like if he's screaming at you, like that's why he's hard to play with. I feel like because he's like so intimidating. Mark Stone, guys want a Stanley Cup. He's a great leader. But the two guys I look to, and
So
you
it
can
was
tell
different
me,
than the two guys that I said.
yeah,
That's interesting.
you can tell me if I'm wrong. I look to Brad Marchand and I look to Drew Doughty. Drew Doughty's obviously won a Stanley Cup. I think he's the only other guy other than Sidney Crosby who was on the last Olympic gold medal team. Guy's a
Hell of
veteran.
a pull. Hell
I
of
don't
a
even
pull.
think
You can't
like
go
neither of
wrong
them.
with any of those guys.
Yeah, neither of them have a letter, but I mean, as a young guy, I'm just thinking like if I was in, I don't know these guys, and I'm definitely not good enough to be in those locker rooms. But if I was in those locker rooms, those are two guys who I would look to. Probably vocal guys, obviously been there, probably hold court in the locker room with like the jokes, but are also guys who like know how to keep it calm, know how to stay dialed in. Two guys that I look to if I'm a little nervous, I'm looking at them, seeing how they're handling the situation. So those are two guys that I think are going to be able to step up and fill that void in the locker room if Sidney Crosby isn't able to go.
Yeah, he is, but I just got to give you praise on that one. Hell of a pull. I was thinking off the top of my head. You had a little bit of time to think about that one. So,
Yeah.
But I agree. Marchand, he's just team guy, locker room guy. Everyone loves him. You could even see, I think, before the tournament, he's messing around with Suzuki in the media, just messing around. He's going to make everyone feel comfortable, less nervous. So, yeah, hell of a pull. I love having Brad Marchand on the team. And Drew Doughty, there's nothing to say there.
Yeah, I mean, probably the main event, if you're a Habs fan and you're coming to our podcast to listen, this is probably what you're going to want to listen to. This is probably what you've been waiting for. All of Canada's probably been waiting for this. And it's probably the one guy who might not be stepping up for Sidney Crosby off the ice, in the locker room, on the bench, but it's pretty evident he is the one who's going to be picking up or try to pick up his slack on the ice, filling his void on that second or third line between Mitch Marner and Mark Stone, and that is Nick Suzuki, Michaels. Wow. I mean, this guy has had the criticism. I don't think he's ever been criticized so much in his life other than the last week, even with Elliot Friedman saying he might be the odd man out. People on Twitter saying, how is this guy even on the team? He had a shaky start to the game, not with his play, but I guess with the social media noise. But boy, did he deliver in the clutch. Not just on that goal, but the whole play was really him. I mean, you see that, Michaels, as a guy on his team, even as a fan, think about it. Take off your Montreal Canadian goggles. You're a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs. You're a fan of the Ottawa Senators. What are your thoughts right now on Nick Suzuki, the man who saved Canada from losing to Czech Republic?
And great setup there. I want to be the first man to say, I didn't think Nick Suzuki was playing that well in this tournament. I was the first man to say that. I thought he might have been sat. And John Cooper obviously didn't go that route. He kept the lines as is. Obviously, we know that the lines got shuffled around a little bit. But man, let's actually go back a little bit into a little bit earlier in the game where he missed a clear open net goal. And if Canada went on to lose, Nick Suzuki missed that open net, and we lost because they had 6 guys on the ice. The refs were going to hear it, and Nick Suzuki was going to hear it. So thank God that didn't happen. And Nick, we call him Captain Suzuki, came in clutch. Just most guys in that situation, I don't know. Do you want me to break down the goal or go right into the goal, or did you have something else before to go?
I mean, I have other stuff, but if you're ready to...
No, let's go. Let's break it down.
Let's just break down the game for Nick Suzuki. Like you said, and I honestly agree, I didn't know if he was going to be in the lineup. I woke up this morning, saw some things about Bennett skating hard. So I'm like, all right, obviously Suzuki's in. Where is he going to play? You heard rumblings 13th forward. You heard rumblings 4th line center. Practice was hard to read this past week. So the lines come out from Canada, and he's back with McKinnon on that right wing and Hagel. So we're like, oh, okay, like status quo. They come out beginning of the game. First line goes out. And then McKinnon's line comes out, and it's not Suzuki, it's Marchand on that line. I think Suzuki went out with the 4th line, centered the 4th line, and they seem to be rotating 4 guys in. So he's playing with Reinhart, he's playing with Horvat, he's getting some shifts with Jarvis. So the 4 of them are all rotating. And then obviously the Crosby injury, I mean, it opened up for him, and he took over that center role. And I feel like obviously he as the game went on, and Cooper even mentioned his play kind of picked up each shift. He was playing better, and he did, like you said, miss a tapping goal. I don't think it was the easiest angle. I think that angle's a lot harder than people are giving him credit for, but nonetheless, you don't think
it was a pretty open net. You're an NHL player. It wasn't like he was on the goal line. Like he
was pretty close to goal.
You might have seen like a bad angle of it. I'm telling you, like I was watching it. It was, you got to put that in. Like I think because so the puck went through a couple people's legs to get to him. So I think he was surprised that it got to him. And then he just obviously missed the net with that. But I think you have to put it in. I think that would have haunted him if they ended up losing. Let me get into this goal, Whites.
Okay.
Please release me. Release me.
Release.
Okay, Whites, this guy, I'd say 87% of guys would probably dump this puck in. He sees 93% of people are going to dump this puck in. He sees his line mates changing. But Nick Suzuki, the thinker that he is, that's his brain is what is his best asset out there. His brain is his best asset. He decides to hold on to this, and he takes it in on his own, dumps it in, but wins the battle, extends the play, gets it to Harley. Was it Harley that took the shot that tips, or was it Devon
So it
Taves?
was Jarvis to Taves. So he got it to Jarvis.
Okay, and then Jarvis passed it to
Taves, yeah.
Okay, and Taves shot, he tips, and holy crap, you can't tell me all of Canada had their ass cheeks puckered up with I think we have it here, 3:27 left in the third period. They scored at like 7:20, and for that last, I guess, at math guy, 4 minutes, for that 4 minutes between Suzuki's tying goal, I didn't know what was going to happen. To be honest, shout out to me. When we were down 3-2 with like 5 minutes to go, I did put money on Team Canada. I thought we were going to get it done. So made some money there. Shout out to Nick Suzuki. But man, what a play by Nick Suzuki. He deserves all the praise he's getting right now. Just a massive, massive, massive goal. Massive play. The whole play you could put on him. That was all Suzuki. And just the tip, the before the goal, everything was just absolute perfection. And I think it really needed that. And I'm just too happy, so happy for Suzuki. Whites, take it away.
Yeah. I mean, you did a great breakdown of the goal. Similar to how we talk about Slafkovský being like ready for that big moment, ready to play, wants to be in the big moment. Suzuki's a similar guy. Whenever the game's tight with the Montreal Canadiens, he always seems to be the one who set up a goal or score a big goal late. Many times he's tied the game, then won in overtime. But I think like this goal and this whole day really just like embodies the type of player Suzuki is. He doesn't ever look like he's really that excited. He never really looks like he's that down. I could confidently say he probably didn't think he was playing his best. He was put in positions he wasn't used to. And instead of like sulking and being down on himself, he missed a goal. He was on the ice for the 3-2 goal for Czech Republic. He didn't sulk. Like I said, he just kind of went with the flow. He scored a goal, like to him, it's just like, yeah, I scored a goal. Like I haven't been playing my best, but that's just the guy he is. And you need a leader like that moving forward for the Montreal Canadiens when you're playing in big games. The moment never seems to get too big for them. Like I said about Marchand and Doughty, they're probably staying calm and cool, like in the big moments. And that's what you want in a leader. And that's why guys should go and look at those players without Crosby in the lineup. It's the same thing with Suzuki in Montreal. Like he's going to seem calm in the big moments when the team's down, when the team's up late in the game, and he's going to be the one that everyone's going to be looking to, and he's just going to be staring. He's just going to be like,
you're going to have to check if he's got a heart going. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he showed some emotion on that goal, but I like that.
But even probably not as much as a different player would. Like most players would do. He sellies here and there, but like I think he was surprised. I don't even know what he did, to be honest. We were all celebrating in the office, but I know you mentioned back check there. We had a little chat on this back check. We have a little disagreement there. We don't know if we could pop this up, but we're not that technically advanced here. But we're looking at the back check here. Obviously, this is the play where Suzuki passes it to Harley. That's where I got confused. Harley takes the shot on Czechia's 6 forward, and it gets blocked. And then I think it's Marty Necas goes back up the ice. And we're looking at it here. White was telling me that Doughty told him to take the pass. It seems like Suzuki just went to the puck carrier. And then right now, as I'm looking at it, Doughty's got the pass across. Suzuki kind of has Necas covered. I think he can't let this drop pass to Andre Palat because it looks like Necas is a little outside the dots. So Binnington has the shot covered. I just think the biggest threat is the photo bomber here in Andre Palat, and I don't think Suzuki can let this pass go. But obviously we disagreed and you thought differently there, right?
Yeah, so originally I did think Doughty was telling him to take the shooter. Watching that back, I think he was saying, I got the shooter, you take Pasta, who's the puck handler, you take Pasta, who's I guess the other guy who could be the shooter who doesn't have the puck. But yeah, and rewatching that, Doughty saying, I got him, you take the far side guy, which is Pasternak in that situation. And I think Suzuki would just committed. So Doughty's like, oh, okay, like I'll take Pasternak. But what I disagree with you is as a forward, you're always and in his eyes, he sees a 2-on-1. Maybe he could have checked back, but like in that moment, you're like, I just need to catch this guy.
But if you're saying he sees a 2-on-2, you're saying.
He sees a 2-on-1 that he's turning into a 2-on-2. He's not thinking about the guy behind him because that's the next guy's job. That's, in this case, I think it's Mark Stone and Thomas Harley.
But it's hard when they got six guys on the ice.
They need it. Well, we'll get it. They need to. We got into it. But they need to beat their guy up the ice. Suzuki's doing the right job by taking one of the guys. He probably took the wrong guy, but he's doing the right thing there. He stops on the net. My gripe is with the back checkers needing to beat their guy up the ice. But like we said, it's hard to beat the guy up the ice if they have an extra guy on the ice. The chances are.
I think that would be a case of also over back checking, right? Like you're back checking the wrong guy. I just see it right now. I'm looking at Necas. I don't see, obviously I see what you're saying, and I'm not fully disagreeing with you. Like Suzuki's so locked onto Necas, he's gonna say, oh, the guy behind me, that's not my job, or he's not worried about that. He sees a 2-on-1 or 2-on-2 now. I don't know. I see Necas. He's not the biggest threat. I guess it's hard. It's a bang play. He's not thinking I gotta look at that drop pass. But anyways, it's in the back of our net. We're down 3-2. They have 6 guys on the ice. Doesn't matter. Refs don't pick that up, and we're moving on. And Team Canada has to fight back.
Yeah, I don't know. As a forward, I don't think he over back checked. I think he stopped on the net. I think he's turning that into a 2-on-2. You need to make it a 2-on-2. You can't leave it. You just want him to take the third guy and leave it a 2-on-1? Like, no. So you could tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think
the thing is, like, let's say if you play a 2-on-1 as a D or even a 3-on-2 as a D, you can't. If you're odd man, you can't just say, oh, this is my guy, that's my guy. Like some guys, one guy has to have 2 guys. Right, so you have to be like, okay, I got this one guy. Now we're playing a 2-on-1 here. Like, because the biggest. What, you've been out of the game a little bit. No, I'm kidding. We've both been out of the game. I don't know. Like, if it's an odd man rush, you can't say, oh, I got this guy, you got this guy, because then there's going to be a guy open. So when you're playing an odd man rush,
he turned it in. Well, I guess I see what you're saying. He could have realized that there's a third guy back. Anyways, let's move on. It's hard to explain. Move on, because it's hard to explain.
It's hard to explain
without the view, but yeah,
maybe we'll find a way to pop this up. Maybe on our TikTok clip we could pop it up and talk about it there. That'll be actually helpful. So moving on. So obviously Suzuki scores that ties, and let's talk about maybe the overtime winner. We didn't go over that one.
One thing I want to talk about the overtime winner, it's like creepily similar, like, the whole Celebrini Crosby like comparison. 2005 when Crosby was like 18, 2006 19, whatever. I don't remember how good he was, but there's definitely some like comparisons between Crosby and Celebrini. And the one thing when I saw that overtime goal, it just brought me back to 4 Nations against Sweden in Game 1. Celebrini basically made the same play Sidney Crosby did. He didn't bring it in the offensive zone, but he started up the middle of the ice. He dropped it back. He stayed on side. Mitch Marner comes down full head of steam. So it's just crazy. I mean, what a play by Mitch Marner.
Czechia, I know Leafs fans are shaking their boots. I was in the office in Toronto, and people were. I know one guy goes. I think he's like, you know what? Now I love Mitch Marner. I don't hate him anymore. So
Leafs fans love Mitch Marner now.
Leafs fans love Mitch Marner. Do they hate him even more? I don't know. But that guy came in clutch. He came in clutch, obviously, like you said, versus Sweden. He also made that pass to McDavid to win it in the 4 Nations finals to get. I don't know. You call it not gold, right? You just won the 4 Nations.
It was the Game 1 of 4 Nations against Sweden.
No, but I'm saying he made the pass to McDavid in the finals.
Yes.
He made that pass. So he's a big time player. I guess he's not a big time player when it comes to playoffs in Toronto, but when he's playing for Team Canada, he's that big time player. But yeah, just big clutch players coming in clutch. You said Celebrini with the pass, similar to Crosby, and then Mitch Marner, like just a hell of a goalie. I think he went through 3 guys. I thought he was going to turn it and get the puck knocked off of him, but he didn't, and he just takes a little backhand twinkle toe where your mama keeps the cookies, and Canada moves on to the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Mitch Marner is better with a certain Maple Leaf over a different Maple Leaf. And Mark Stone might think the same. He was asked about if Mitch Marner isn't clutch, if he's not a big-time performer. And he said, as a team, I haven't experienced that. 4 Nations, he gets us a huge overtime goal for us. Like you mentioned, makes an incredible play for the winner, like you mentioned. And he goes, then tonight, when we needed him most, he makes the play. So I think it's a Toronto thing. So not only do we have Marchand bashing Toronto in the media, we also have Mark Stone bashing Toronto in the media. So Toronto can never win. Even when they're winning, even when their country's winning games, they're still losing. They are still losing. So it's a tough time to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. Like, I mean, but hats
Good
off
time to
Mitch
be a
Marner.
Montreal Canadiens fan.
Good time to be a Montreal Canadiens fan. But yeah, so
Let's go into some Suzuki quotes. What do you say? A lot of guys had some high praise for his game today. What do you say here?
yeah, I mean, John Cooper, the head coach, the guy who had the decision to keep playing him, he said, I thought Nick got better as the game went on. He had to play a big role when Sid went out. You can tell he was just buzzing. He started feeling it. It was big time. So, I mean, like he said it all, it was a big time moment for
The
a big
country
time
needed
game.
a goal. Nick Suzuki answered.
Yep.
Like Connor McDavid, that's a huge goal by Zook. I'm calling him Zook now.
Yeah.
Are we calling him Zook?
Zook.
Is Zook the new nickname? I don't know. I've never heard that one, but I love it. And then Nick Suzuki also commented on the game tying goal. He goes, I just felt my teammates changing behind me. I didn't really want to just chip it in and change and turn it over. That's the brain thinking. So I just tried to put myself a good puck and get on the forecheck and set up the second line. When I saw it go to the point, I just tried to go to the net, and I seemed to slip by their coverage and get a piece of it. Just Nick Suzuki at his best, humble guy, and obviously the players think he's a big-time player as well. I know he spoke about Marchand. Marchand goes, that was a elite play. I don't know where he was at in his shift, but the fact that he got that in by himself, created the forecheck, won the battle, allowing those guys to get in. It's not just the tip, it's the entire play. That's what sometimes guys don't get credit for. He's done that 1,000 times throughout the tournament, but some people are just counting points. And we do see that on Twitter. Sometimes we do that ourselves. You know, I'm looking, Slafkovský got no points today. I'm like, oh, did he play bad? I didn't know. I didn't watch the game, but obviously not. And his teammates see the impact he has on the game. And at the end of the day, that's maybe the most important thing. I know it's similar to the Art Ross versus the what's the team? I might be putting on your spot here.
No, Ted Lindsay.
Ted Lindsay, and then what's the other one? You win most points, or like it's I don't even know. There's one where
the Art Ross, and Ted Lindsay.
But there's one where
players vote on.
Players vote
That's
on.
Ted Lindsay.
Ted Lindsay. Are you double checking me?
No, I know it's fact.
Okay, so Ted Lindsay, it's kind of like that. Like if it's the players you play against, if they see your praise, it's kind of a little bit more important than maybe what John from I always do this to
Johnstown.
myself. John from Johnstown. And you always get me. Why? That's why we're co-hosts. You always get me with that. I always set myself up for failure, but you always get me. That's why John from Johnstown is not on Indian.
Yeah, but I mean, those are some positive quotes by his teammates, people that matter the most. Let's do a fun segment here, the Suzuki hate tweets, and I think we're just asking for an apology. Leafs sing.
I don't even want an apology.
I don't even want to apologize.
I don't want it. I don't want an apology.
Leafs sing.
Go fuck yourselves.
Leafs fan down bad throughout the game. If Canada loses, no Toronto Maple Leaf can be blamed. You know who we can blame, though. The Habs and Nick Suzuki. He doubled down. Holy fuck, Nick Suzuki. This is why no one thought you belonged on this team. I think you owe him an apology. This other guy, Byron_D11, always in my comments with terrible takes. Suzuki sucks. Joe, they took him over Scheifele and Bedard is mind-blowing, or how they took him over Scheifele and Bedard is mind-blowing, and it will cost them a gold medal. I mean, I don't think it costed them a gold medal. I think he kept them alive.
Yeah, would
kept
you say?
the gold medal hunt going alive. And then the last one, Mike Bartner, is kind of a compliment to Slafkovský. I'll take it as a compliment to Slafkovský, but he said Slav stole all of Suzuki's talents for the Olympics. So another just laughable. Everyone point and laugh at those takes. And yeah, I mean, let's just snap it around here for other Olympic storylines. USA versus Sweden. Quinn Hughes, I don't know if you saw this in overtime. He was on the ice. There was a whistle. I think it was in the ozone for USA. He's getting called off. He says, he waves off the bench. No, I'm good. I got this. Wins it right there. That's rock star. That's some good shit right there.
That's Quinn Hughes right there. That's why he's making the big bucks.
Yeah, hats off to
making a lot.
Hats off to Quinn Hughes. And I mean, yeah, I think that pretty much does it. I guess we had one other Olympic storyline.
Yeah, I know we didn't cover it that much, but yeah, I got scared for the U.S. there. Obviously they were up. Zibanejad ties it, you said. And Quinn Hughes gets it done in overtime. So I guess both teams had some scares. Both teams are not going to take anybody lightly. And let's move on now. Moving on to the semifinals, we got Canada versus Finland. That's not going to be a walk in the park. I thought Finland was going to lose it. They were down 2-0. They come back with 3 unanswered. and win it in overtime versus Swiss. So it'll be Finland versus Canada, and it'll be Slovakia versus the USA.
Yeah.
I don't think we could have asked for anything better for these Olympics. It's been everything we could have asked for and more.
Yeah, I mean, all right, you'll give me your Canada Finland prediction first. I'll give you my USA Slovakia prediction first. Go Canada Finland.
Okay, Canada Finland. I am gonna go. Canada's gonna win 3-1. That is my prediction.
Yeah, I agree. I say a 3-2, 4-2 score. I think the main difference, obviously, Canada has the firepower. No Barkov's going to hurt Finland. They're not going to match up well against Canada, so I'm going to go Canada up. And then USA versus Slovakia, I'm going to take USA 3-2, Slafkovský 2 goals.
You know what? That's a win-win situation for us Habs fans. Obviously, we want Slafkovský to do as well as he can, but at the end of the day, I don't want Slafkovský in the finals versus our Team Canada. Yeah. I don't want it. He's going to scare me. Yeah, I don't want it. Let him win a bronze. I don't want to see him in the gold medal game. So yeah, I like that. I like where we're at. Team Canada. I know gold, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I know those are Sunday in the morning, so boy, do we gotta wake up early. When is the semis? Do we know that?
Semis are Friday. I don't know what time the games are.
But we will be up, we will be watching, and we will get back to you with episode 4. Maybe after those, we'll see. You'll have to tune in and figure that out. But Whites, this is a great episode. We had to do an emergency podcast. I don't know if you have anything else, but this was great catching up, and go Canada, go.
Yeah, go Canada, go. The only thing is just support's been great, but follow our socials, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, give us a like on wherever you listen to your podcast or on YouTube, give us a follow on YouTube. Every little bit helps grow this machine so we can be full-time podcasters, Michaels, and we don't have to be doing this podcast at 9:30 p.m. on a Wednesday. So thank you. Like you said, go Canada, go, baby.
See you, everyone.